Welcome back, everyone, and today we have breaking news coming straight out of Dallas as the Cowboys make waves both on the field and behind the scenes. Fans have been waiting for this update for months, and now it's official. Trevon Diggs, the star cornerback who suffered a devastating ACL injury last season, has been cleared to return to action. This is a massive development for the Cowboys defense, one that could shift the balance of power in the NFC if Diggs comes back close to his all-pro form. At the same time, we're learning that offensive coordinator Brian Schottenheimer, better known as Schotty, has made his very first official 53-man roster cut, sending shockwaves through the locker room and raising questions about how this coaching staff is shaping the roster heading into a crucial season for Dallas. There's so much to unpack here, from Diggs' road to recovery, what this means for the secondary, to how the Cowboys are approaching roster management under Schottenheimer's influence. Buckle up, because this is going to be a deep dive into what could become a turning point in the Cowboys season. For Cowboys Nation, the return of Trevon Diggs is more than just about stats, it's about identity. When Diggs went down last year during practice, it sent a chilling wave through the organization. The Cowboys defense had been riding high, with Micah Parsons terrorizing quarterbacks, Stephon Gilmore bringing veteran leadership, and Diggs patrolling the skies with his ball-hawking ability. Losing him felt like a gut punch, not only because of his production, but because Diggs represents the swagger, the confidence, and the big play energy that has defined Dan Quinn's defensive unit. Reports indicate that Diggs has been working tirelessly in rehab, surprising trainers with his speed and recovery. Now, with clearance from the medical staff, he is expected to be eased back into practice reps before being fully integrated into game action. This is monumental because the Cowboys are entering a season where their defense is expected to carry them, and having Diggs back could give them one of the most dangerous secondaries in the entire NFL. Let's not forget that in 2021, Diggs recorded 11 interceptions, leading the league and earning All-Pro honors. Critics sometimes question his gambling style of play, pointing out that he gives up yardage on aggressive jumps, but his ability to flip momentum with a single play is unmatched. Now, pairing him again with Stephon Gilmore, and adding the depth Dallas has built in the secondary with players like Darren Bland, creates a nightmare scenario for opposing quarterbacks. Imagine lining up against a defense where you can't comfortably throw to either side of the field, while knowing Micah Parsons is crashing down from the line. This is exactly the type of nightmare Dan Quinn has been constructing. Diggs returning doesn't just give Dallas a cornerback, it gives them the piece that makes their defensive puzzle complete. Meanwhile, the other headline coming out of Dallas involves Brian Schottenheimer making his first major move in roster shaping. As the newly entrenched offensive coordinator, Schotty has had his fingerprints all over the offensive game plan this offseason. He's been vocal about wanting to simplify things for Dak Prescott, emphasize the run game, and create balance that keeps defenses guessing. Now, with roster cuts looming across the league as teams trim down to 53 players, Schottenheimer has taken the lead in making the tough calls on who stays and who goes. Reports indicate that his first official 53-man roster cut has already been made, and while the name hasn't been confirmed publicly in all outlets just yet, insiders say it signals a clear message: the Cowboys are going to prioritize players who fit Schotty's vision of physicality, discipline, and reliability. Roster cuts always come with drama because these are real players fighting for their NFL lives. Some have been with the Cowboys for years. Others are young prospects trying to make their mark, and every decision resonates through the locker room. For Schottenheimer to make his first cut shows that he's not afraid to assert his authority in shaping this offense. This is particularly interesting because the Cowboys are coming off a year where the offense often felt inconsistent, at times explosive, but other times frustratingly stagnant. Dak Prescott has shouldered the blame. The offensive line has faced questions about health and depth, and the run game has struggled to find identity since the departure of Ezekiel Elliott. In this environment, every single roster spot matters, and Schotty's willingness to cut a player early is proof that the Cowboys coaching staff is laser focused on building a roster that matches their philosophy. The combination of Diggs' return and Schotty's roster moves could represent two sides of the same coin for Dallas. On defense, the Cowboys are doubling down on continuity and star power, bringing back a cornerstone player who elevates everyone around him. On offense, they're ushering in a new era under Schottenheimer, one where efficiency, toughness, and execution are valued over potential and flash. If these two sides come together, Dallas could find themselves as one of the most balanced teams in the league, capable of beating opponents in multiple ways. That's the formula they've been chasing for years, not just relying on Dak to throw them to victory, not just leaning on defense to carry the load, but building a team where every phase complements the other. It's also worth noting that Trevon Diggs' return comes at a fascinating time for his career. Just before his injury, Diggs signed a massive 5-year, $97 million extension, cementing his place as one of the highest-paid corners in the NFL. With that contract comes pressure, and many wondered how the injury might impact his long-term trajectory. Now, with clearance to return, Diggs has a chance to prove that he's worth every penny, that he can bounce back and reclaim his place as a top defensive playmaker in the league. The Cowboys took a gamble on him, and now it's time to see if that faith pays off. If he returns to form, Dallas' defense could rival San Francisco, Philadelphia, and the other NFC powerhouses. Schottenheimer, on the other hand, is under his own kind of pressure. This is his first season running the Cowboys offense after the departure of Kellen Moore, who many fans had mixed feelings about. Moore was creative, but sometimes too aggressive and inconsistent in critical moments. Schotty brings a different energy, emphasizing fundamentals and balance. Fans have been curious to see what his version of the Cowboys offense will look like, and roster cuts give us the first real clues. His decisions show what kind of players he wants surrounding Dak Prescott. Will he lean toward younger, explosive talent at wide receiver behind CeeDee Lamb and Brandon Cooks, or will he favor veterans who know the system and can be trusted in high-pressure moments? Will he prioritize a bruising back to complement Tony Pollard, or does he believe Pollard can be a true workhorse with speedier backups? These are the questions Cowboys Nation is asking, and Schottenheimer's cuts are the first dominoes in that process. Fans should also keep in mind how emotionally charged this moment is for Diggs. Coming back from an ACL injury is not just about physical rehab, it's about confidence. The first time he plants his foot, the first time he jumps for a ball, the first time he collides with a wide receiver, those are the moments where players rediscover who they are. Having his teammates around him, supporting him, and knowing the Cowboys believe in him, will play a huge role in how quickly Diggs gets back to his peak. Already, reports say he's been moving fluidly in workouts, showing that signature burst that made him one of the league's most feared ballhawks. That's exactly what Cowboys fans want to hear, because if Diggs looks like himself again, then this defense will once again be the Cowboys' crown jewel. All of this underscores the fact that the Cowboys are entering one of their most pivotal seasons in recent memory. The NFC is wide open, with Philadelphia as the top contender, San Francisco looming as a powerhouse, and Detroit emerging as a dark horse. The Cowboys have consistently been in the conversation, but they haven't broken through to the NFC Championship game in nearly 3 decades. That's the monkey on their back, and every decision, from Diggs' return to roster cuts, ties back to that ultimate goal. Jerry Jones has been vocal about believing this team has the talent to win it all, but now it comes down to execution. With Diggs back, with Schotty reshaping the offense, the Cowboys are taking steps toward proving that this year can be different. Cowboys Nation, the excitement is real. Trevon Diggs is cleared and ready to make his long-awaited return, bringing energy, swagger, and playmaking back to a defense that already looks terrifying. At the same time, Brian Schottenheimer is putting his stamp on the roster, showing he's willing to make bold moves to get the offense where it needs to be. These two developments, happening at the same time, are setting the stage for what could be a defining season in Dallas. Now it's up to the players, the coaches, and the organization to turn this momentum into results. The countdown to kickoff is on, and the Cowboys are making it clear they're not here just to compete, they're here to contend. And that wraps up today's big Cowboys news update. What do you think, Cowboys fans? Are you confident Trevon Diggs will return to his All-Pro form? Do you trust Schottenheimer's vision for the offense? Drop your thoughts in the comments below because we want to hear from you. And as always, if you enjoyed this breakdown and want to stay on top of every Cowboys update, make sure to hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, and turn on those notifications so you never miss a moment of the action.